First of all, we're going to check out some St. Louis barbecue. We're going to check out some ribs from Memphis. And then we're going to get some McDonald's today on Triple D. Hold on, I got to go get my douchey Camaro. I got to go back to me, man.
If that was blonde, you should have just rocked it for the rest of the show.
Maybe you know, if you talk dirty to me later on, I can.
Been fine.
Yeah, it's okay. That's what edit's for. I've gotten pretty good at that editing thing. Why can't one of them answer your phone?
It's an 877.
Why do we make them wear duct tape on their mouths? I mean, that's really not cool. I mean, I think they've learned not to, you know, say anything ever again. Yeah, lightning.
Oh, lightning's been detected.
We're gonna ride the lightning. Hey, if the power goes out, it ain't because I didn't pay the bill, because I just paid my $401 bill today.
We duct taped their mouths because weren't you sick of that?
One of them coughed once. I mean, I do it all the time over here. You're the one paying them. I ain't. I done told you, man. So I had a little scare yesterday. You know, I'm 47 years old. Never, tap on wood, never had to go to the emergency room for my own needs. Yesterday I got off of work. Came home, had me a little lunch. Nothing out of the ordinary. And came out here, you know, to turn everything on and cool off the room and get it set up so that, you know, when you get here, you're ready to go. Excuse me. And then I went back in the house. As I was walking back in, I had like a sharp pain right here, right underneath the ribs, right on my side. And kind of blew it off. I thought, my dog was out here with me when I came out here, and you know, when I walked out the door, he had a ball sitting there waiting for me. You know, Jake, man, he's a ball hound. I threw the ball for him, and I seen that the gate over there wasn't open, so I wouldn't open the gate for you. And as I was walking back in, I was like, man, I must have pulled the muscle when I threw that ball or something. It was a little bit tight, you know. So, yeah, you know, I'll be all right. You know. I mean, I've actually lost 10 pounds over the last about 10 days.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'll find it. Anyway, so anyway, I get back in, back inside, and I get just like, maybe I need to go to the bathroom or something. Maybe it's gas or something. I don't know. You know, we get old, do what we do. So I'm like, you know, hanging out in there trying to read up on some things. So I have a little more nuggets, you know, a couple more damn nuggets up here to lay out during the show. And it just there ain't nothing going on except that pain's getting worse. But I feel like I got to go to the bathroom, like, and you can't tell if it's number one or number two. You just can't tell. And that just went on for like 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes turned into 45, and I just decided to call my wife because I was in pain, like it was writhing pain. I haven't felt pain like this ever, dude. No, I really haven't. Prior to that, my heaviest pain I've ever felt was a root canal that I had done, and about 3 years later, it came back to get me. That was laying on the couch, in a ball with tears coming down my eyes.
I heard those are rough.
Yeah. The tooth pain was probably worse. This was you know, when you don't know what's causing it, it's like one of those things that you just start kind of adding up things. You start adding up that I make does the wife have life insurance? You know, are we good? Or, you know, we're going to be all right, you know, because I just had a prior colleague of mine pass away probably about 6 weeks ago.
That's
and
right.
It's my old boss. And we wasn't fishing buddies after I'd left him, but you know, he's a human being still, and whether or not he's a good one is not for me to judge. And he died at age, like, I think it was like 51 years old, and it's because he never went to the doctor. He went to the doctor, found out he had like diabetes. He'd been a diabetic for about 20 years and didn't know it. He had like like 3 feet or something like that of dead colon, and his kidneys basically shut down. Everything shut down, and that was on a Friday. Monday night, he was gone. That quick. So all that's kind of running through my head. I haven't spent enough time with my grandkids. I got 2 grandkids and 1 on the way. So anyway, I call the wife, and I just say 4 short things. I said, something's wrong with me. Clock out, get home now. And she was like literally like 5 minutes from her clock out time. Well, she did, and she hauled ass home. And I was walking, I was basically like walking the floor in my house, just kind of holding my side, trying to push and kind of, man, what? Oof. I mean, it was pretty rough. And finally I said, I'm going to go to the emergency room. I didn't know what it was. The reason I waited like an hour and a half with this crap before I decided, all right, I'm going to go ahead and go to the emergency room, was because I didn't want to be that guy who hauls ass to the emergency room and farts. Then I got to pay $847 to fart in an emergency room. Mm-hmm. It's not really my thing. Mm. And I'm like, oh, I'm all right, baby. I'll be fine. Like, it was pretty rough, dude. I'm just glad I have a large area in my minivan. Otherwise, I'd have kicked a hole in the damn floorboard trying to just pushing. And she had said something, and I kind of got like, now is not the time. She'd said, well, I didn't act like that when I had my knee surgery, or and I was like, you know what? And I don't like getting loud with my wife. I love that woman to death. She's the best thing to ever walk into my life. But sometimes, man, she says something that's just like, it just flips that switch, or I'm just like, now is not the time, Right. So I raised my voice at her, and I was like, oh, we're gonna talk about this now, kind of thing. And then it turned green. We were like 5 or 6 cars deep into the light, and the light turned green. And right as we went under the overpass going towards the emergency room, the pain kind of eased up. And I felt something. I mean, this may be TMI, but I don't care. I'm an open book. I felt like a little pee, went that direction. Right. I checked myself. I was wearing shorts. I don't care. I ain't got no shame. There was an SUV right, next to us, kind of looking down. I didn't care. I was just like, nope, I'm dry. I ain't. So I mean, I know it sounds nuts, but man, I need to know if that's blood or what. I don't know what's going on, dude. But the pain kind of eased up. And as we went, it's like a mile or so, wouldn't you say, from where we were to the emergency room. Well, she turned down the wrong street. She turned down the other side. Oops. Not the next street. That's all right, because the pain was easing up. I was just like, you've been here 10 years. You don't know where the damn emergency. You work literally a block away from this place. You don't know what street to turn down for the emergency room, sweetheart. It was almost comical. Bless her heart. Woman get lost in a drive-through. But anyway, I said, pull into this parking lot. We're right here. I don't want to just turn around and go home yet. This may come back. Right. So I got out and I kind of like walked it off. I had a cigarette. It's probably the last thing I needed, but it was kind of like I just gave birth or something. So I was just happy, and I was just saying little well, thank yous to man upstairs for cutting me a break this time, and the wife, I had explained what it felt like to the wife. Now, she's never had this either, but she, I guess, knows many people who have, and they've, like me, they have explained it to her in detail. And she says it sounded like you had a kidney stone,
which can be probably more painful than a knee problem. Yeah. So I got home, and actually on the way home, she was like, "Is it okay if I go to Kroger?" I'm like, "Go ahead, baby. Let's go to Kroger." And plus, it gave me a chance to walk around a little bit and kind of walk off the pain, because even after the pain is gone, you're still sore. Like right now, if I mash over in here, it's a little bit tender still. Really? Right.
So the pain sucks, but it's somewhat can be a good thing. That means it's moving.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, man, I've never had kidney stones, never had anything like that. It is in my distant family, second cousins. You know, I have a family of second cousins on my dad's side that the entire, I think 3 sisters and 1 brother have them.
So what do you think about Alex Jones and InfoWars getting shut down?
I mean, and you heard last episode, I actually, when you brought up the Las Vegas conspiracy theory, the Paddock guy. Remember what my comment was to that?
No, what was
I
it?
said, I think you need to turn the Alex Jones channel off and quit buying them damn vitamins that he sells.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I like Alex Jones because he hasn't given me a reason to not like him, okay? Just because somebody wants to, I want to say just kind of manufacture drama to keep viewership up, that's fine. If he's got 1 million people willing to send him money, buy his little vitamins that he sells, or whatever, support him because he wants to drum up find this that like this guy was an actor. He didn't even have a kid in Sandy Hook. Whatever. I don't care. I don't have to believe him just because it's on Facebook or YouTube or on the television set. I don't have to believe it. I'm a capable human being, capable of my own free thought. I like to say I'm somewhat educated enough, logical, analytical. I can come up. God has given me the powers to develop my own opinion.
And for people who don't know, Alex Jones has a show on YouTube and a podcast, and it's kind of turned into a pretty elaborate production. It almost looks like CNN or Fox News at this point, or it did. Millions of followers, and called it InfoWars, and it's kind of like a far right-wing conspiracy type of news show. He talks about everything from Sandy Hook being faked to a pedophile ring in the 1% of the wealthiest people in the world or something like this, and in Hollywood a pedophile ring being an issue. But that's just a few of the things that he kind of speculates and throws out there. But the way I understand it is that Apple, they were the first to act.
They were the first pulled his podcasts.
And they pulled his whole library
and his backlog,
off iTunes, and then YouTube completely deleted his channel. And now
the only one that didn't was Twitter, and they were like, he really hasn't done anything to breach our terms of service. So
I'm just real concerned about this because they're calling it hate speech. That's what they're calling it. I don't think he's not inciting a riot. He's not trying to start a race war. He's not being a bigot against a certain group of people. You know, as far as I'm concerned, this is a freedom of speech situation. And I know YouTube and iTunes, I mean, they're companies too, so I guess they can choose ultimately who they want to have. But also, we can choose to boycott these channels that are trying to edit things and calling it hate speech when it's not. I understand for the families of Sandy Hook that they may get upset, and maybe he was a little insensitive. But at the same time, I mean, I just think it's okay to question things. And when we're not allowed to question things or you get shut down, that's kind of going into a scary area for me anyway.
He has a kind of a crew who actually works under him, and they're like the man on the street kind of thing, or woman on the street. And he has, I think his name's Paul Watson. He has like a British accent. I'm not sure where he's from, but pardon me if it's Australian. I do apologize because some people from Australia don't like to be called British, and vice versa. But he's very he rants. Okay, he puts up close shot, and he rants, and he's good. He's well spoken, very intelligent. you know, and what he does is he kind of goes after, like, anytime there's an uprising like Antifa or any one of these ridiculous, you know, left-wing groups, you know, socialist party groups, has some kind of an uprising or some kind of a overreaction to, you know, something to do with the police or something to do with a march or whatever. He goes off on them, and he does it in a very, very, you know, in your face kind of way. Like I like how he does it. So it's there's others too. When they were doing the anti-gun, you know, rallies across the country, I don't know if you remember that, like 4 or 5 months ago, they were marching to get guns banned all over the country and in large towns all over the country. The hell, I think they even did it here downtown. There was like 10 people there. Yeah, well, you know,
about right.
We're in a area that we live our guns. You know,
we're in the belt.
When you're born, they're like, it's a boy and with a 22.
But he even had he had Trump on his show, I believe, before, not physically, but maybe on Skype or via audio, telephone or something. But anyway, and also, you know, he even comes out and says, you know, Joe Rogan's part of the Illuminati. You know, they've gotten to him too, and he just goes way down the conspiracy rabbit hole. So
Sandy Hook, Sandy Hook, Sandy Hook, Sandy Hook, Sandy Hook.
That's pretty good.
You know,
it's pretty good impression.
The media is over here going Trump, 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 Trump. You know, and you don't ever. It's all a ruse, man. It's all a big ruse to cover up what's really going on behind your back.
Well, I agree with you, and I'll even kind of throw another analogy out here. Is that, you know, if we're going to shut Alex Jones down, you know, why don't we shut Fox News down too?
Because it ain't just Fox News.
Well, I'm just
all
that's
of them.
An example, or MSNBC or whomever. But it reminds me of the Iraq War and how Fox News was all about the WMDs, and then we didn't find any weapons of mass destruction. Okay, so they were condoning a war that's killing thousands of people and displacing people out of their homes, and they were wrong, and they were pushing that. They were pushing that agenda.
I agree.
Well,
I agree.
So if Alex Jones is pushing a theory too, I just, you see what I'm saying? It's kind of like,
yeah. Well, we need to go back. You know, they've just like corporations have found, you know, loopholes in laws that allow them to get away with murder and not paying taxes and things like that. These, you know, media companies like Fox News and CNN and MSNBC and all them, they have found a way to get around complying with, you know,
the truth,
libel laws and things like that.
On July 25th, a meteor hit Greenland near a U.S. Air Force base with 2.1 kilotons or something, which is like 2,000 tons of TNT or something like this. And they really didn't, the military didn't really say too much about it. And on that same day, and I think you sent me this, is a Canadian observatory that listens to radio signals coming from space got a kind of a deep signal from space for a few seconds. And that was on the same day as this meteor too, which is kind of odd.
Coincidence? So you're thinking they may be related? I mean, because they were saying it came from, well,
I don't know how you could confuse a radio signal from deep space as a meteor, but maybe the aliens were trying to give us a signal that this meteor was coming.
Aliens?
It could be a possibility.
You mean like down at the border?
You know, I have a strange theory that I've had for years. That and so,
careful. You seen what happened to Alex Jones?
Yeah, I know. So we might get shut down.
I mean, he's only worth $5 million. So
if we get shut down, I'm probably correct. This theory is probably correct. But okay, so we all know that when people think of aliens, they always describe these slender, short, big-headed, black eyes, gray-skinned beings.
They look like Xenu.
Right. Well, and we also know that, we used to be hairier, more hair on us than we have now. And
that's why I shave.
Right. And we know that our craniums have gotten bigger to hold the larger brain over time.
Or for some, more water. Sorry. No offense to the hydrocephalic.
And we also know that the majority of almost everybody in the human race kind of originated in Africa. And that if you find people in Europe, where it's cloudy and not a lot of sun, they're a little more pale. In hotter regions, people are a little more tan. So with that being said, if you venture out into space over generations of time, you're going to lose pigment in your skin. As we go further into the future, our brains will probably enlarge some more. And I know, try not to fall asleep over here. Also too, telepathy. Okay, they say we only use 10% of our brain power. So
some of us,
right? And
up to 10%.
There are some phenomenons.
I'd say most are around 5.
Where there are some phenomenons that can be explained where people are, kind of clairvoyant, and so there's no gravity in space. We know you have to travel very, very long distances to get anywhere. And so without the gravity, what's the use of your muscle mass? You wouldn't need it. Eventually, over generations, you would lose your muscle mass.
So you're saying that spaceships, there are no there are no mirrors on spacecraft.
Well, what I'm saying is that it's a possibility that not all but some the extraterrestrials could be us. If you want to travel through space, you can't really get around traveling through time. It's relativity. So my theory is that the aliens could be us evolved in the future, coming back, looking at history. And that's why they don't land on the White House lawn.
I need to start buying from your dealer. Simple as that. Well, you're talking about black holes and wormholes. You know what my favorite wormhole is?
Oh, God. Is this going to get sexual?
God, man. Can I not say, I get no respect around here. I get no respect, I tell you.
Give Bob some respect, please, y'all. Put that down for next week.
It's over there in that no, that one. No. God, never mind. I'll get it in a minute. My favorite black hole is the exit to Sam's and Costco, and you're probably not familiar with this one, but I am a very, very similar membership club called BJ's. They have them in Florida and elsewhere.
No clue.
They're just like Costco or Sam's.
Okay.
Yeah, when you walk out, you buy a couple items, you're walking out, you just paid for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're walking out. Don't put that receipt in your pocket. Why? Because you got to get frisked on the way out.
Very true.
So
even Sam's does that?
Sam's does it. Sam's, I think, originated that, and it's for loss prevention. Whatever. Man, they ain't preventing nothing, dude. You're walking towards the door, and you're like, holy crap, man. They got one person and 30 freaking buggies.
You're never getting out of there.
And then one person in that line decides, hey, this cake was supposed to be $17.99 and it charged me $18.99. Can you fix that? Yeah, let him get $1 out of his pocket. No, moron. There's the service desk. You passed it on the way out. They can't do nothing.
Loss prevention.
So,
I mean, I kind of get it, but
have you ever Have you ever been to Walmart and they did that?
No. So why is it the big box stores? That's my question.
I don't know, man. I mean, you would think.
Wouldn't it be harder to steal from there? They got people standing at the doors. Keyword big box. You can't really hide much.
No, man. I mean, it's hard to hide 36 rolls of toilet paper.
Apparently, when you type in dog in Google 22 times, which
18 to 22, but yeah,
which is God backwards, it gives you end of the world prediction. And they have you have to translate it into some different language or something, but they've removed it.
Originally it was from, I think, Hawaiian to English.
Yeah, but
it changed it.
Yeah, and so they've removed that, but I went into obviously researching Google after that for a little bit, and they have an offshore account to evade taxes in Bermuda.
Who doesn't?
Right. I mean, it's legal, so what are you going to do?
Nothing. Stop using Google. Oh, wait a minute. That's YouTube. Never mind. Keep using Google.
But the P.O. box where they're funneling, what is $600 billion worth of profit each year is the P.O. box is 666.
Some say that the mark of the beast was actually not 666. It's actually 613. Google that next time. Yeah.
Also, the Google logo. If you take away the colors, it's 6 sixes. Like that, like that, and like that. That's kind of weird too. A little strange. That's all.
You can say that about like this. You got 3 6s on this too. Right, so
yeah.
They used to say that KISS meant knights in Satan's service, and AC/DC meant against Christ, devil's child.
Right.
I mean, come on. And WASP meant we are sexual perverts. I mean,
I think they have enough money where they can pick a different P.O. box though. I got to pick mine.
They probably own the mail center where it's at, and there's only one box there, and it's them.
Google has been buying up all the robotics companies like hotcakes. I mean, they've just been obtaining ownership of all of them, and I mean, obviously that's the cutting edge, right, of technology. So I mean, it would make sense. One of the biggest companies in the world, purchasing anybody that's developing sophisticated robotics systems.
Elon Musk was talking yesterday about taking his company private. Basically, by taking it private, it would be worth I forget the numbers, dude, but it was astonishingly different. Its current value versus what it would be taking it private. And he was offering, I want to say $340 a share, something like that.
He's really concerned with, been very open about it, that he thinks artificial intelligence is our main problem, or our main threat to the human race. I tend to agree with him. I don't foresee it being a nuke or the environment. I think AI, technology is moving so quick. They developed this computer program that beat the best Go player in the world, which is this Asian type checkerboard. It's got black and white polished stones, and there's so many different
right moves. It's a very complicated.
Yeah, it's very complicated. Yeah, and the computers beat that, and now that computer's beat another computer, and so on and so forth, and it teaches itself.
Wow.
But everybody seems to be concerned with, a robot that's going to kill us. I don't think it would necessarily be that. What's to say it wouldn't be an AI that just lives in the interweb? What's that?
I said, no, I think we're going to end up killing ourselves.
No, but who's to say it wouldn't be an AI that was created like that, where it just virtually exists in the interweb, and it is constantly teaching itself things, and then if it gets to be self-aware, which people are already trying to accomplish that, to make a computer program self-aware.
Skynet.
Who's to say it's not going to look at our bank accounts and go, I'm going to wipe out all these all these numbers here and just turn them to 0. I mean, that would be a surefire way to cause a bunch of confusion overnight, wouldn't it?
I don't. You know, the only thing I don't see us being able to master AI or get anything short of a sex robot out of technology until we get till we figure out quantum computing.
Well, that's where it's going.
Quantum computing is 10 years out.
But that's not a long time.
Do you still continue your home warranty? You just like, so I think that's breaking. I better sign up real quick.
I wouldn't say that. I would say, I'd make a claim and then, they would only partially cover it, and then I would fix it to where, it's still got some life in it, and then, it's
get another year out of that water heater. When you're forced to watch these commercials or to listen to them on the radio, they make it sound like first they make it sound like the appliance that you have right now. Like you're going to walk up to your refrigerator, grab the door handle, and the door handle's going to come off in your hand, and you're going to be like, hey.
I would recommend it for big things. If you have certain items in your house, like an AC unit or a water heater that is at the end of its life, it's good to have,
would you not say that because they never replace, they only repair, and it's usually with the lowest bidder on the planet. So they're going to be duct tape and stuff. So right. would you not say? I know you used it for your water heater a couple of times, didn't you?
I think once, and
they all they did was like change out one of the elements, and the golden rule for anybody who knows water heaters is you don't just change out one element, you change both of them at the same time.
Well, they deemed like $280 as beyond repair, which was ridiculous. And then the replacement cost on it from the company that they chose was like $800. And then so they told me that it's beyond repair, so we'll cover you for $400. And I said, well, wait a second. The company you sent out here says the replacement cost is $800, not $400. Well, we'll only cover up to $400. And after bickering back and forth with them, they said $450, and that's it. It took me 6 months to get that check.
And you blew it on like drugs and stuff. You didn't even
drugs. I don't do drugs. But the guy that was there was nice enough to tweak it in such a way that I was able to, get some more life out of it. And then, I canceled them. And, you can't have somebody be jerking you around like that. I mean, they won't give you the replacement cost, and then the agreement that you did make takes 6 months to get the check. And I had to call every month.
They do everything within their power not to come off of any cash.
And they had no idea that I had hot water. Like as far as they knew, I had cold water for that 6 months. They didn't care. It didn't speed up their process or anything. So,
and by the time that I've never paid for anything like that because I do my own right. repairs and stuff. I've always had to. I kind of grew up a screw up, so I never had a job where I could afford to pay somebody to fix my car or my house or anything if it broke. I just have to dive in there and do it. Trial and error, mostly error. But eventually I would get it right. 7 trips to Home Depot later,
Last weekend we released my new band, which is called Sentient Shell. And actually the intro music we've been using for the show is our first single called This Parade. And we just released a full-length music video for it last Friday. And you can click the link down to the description below where we'll have the link to that. You can check it out if you'd like. Like to thank everybody that liked our page and shared our video and left comments. Feedback's been great, and we put a lot of work into it. And would like to thank everybody that was made that video and that song possible. And we've got other ones completed already, and we're working hard on the record, and it's turning out fantastic. So,
and you have a Facebook page?
We do. It is. It is facebook.com/Sentient Shell.
Yeah. Probably gonna have to just put the link in the description, right?
Yeah,
we'll put the links, all applicable links in the description for you, as I'm sure you have a YouTube page too, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the YouTube is. It's probably / Sentient Shell. I don't know.
Well, I mean, where is it uploaded to?
The video.
I mean, you made the video. You edited, recorded, directed the video. So what did you do with the file when you were done with it? Did you just throw it out in the front yard or put it in your pocket? Is it in with the ice cream in the freezer, or did you upload it to YouTube?
I think it's in the recycle bin. No. Yes, it's uploaded to YouTube.
And currently on your channel?
No, it's on the Sentient Shell YouTube channel.
Okay, so I can put an applicable link in the description for that as well.
Right, that too. All links will be in the description if you'd like to check out my music. So.
Well, you have other videos that you've done with other bands too that are damn fine. I like your work, man. So
thanks.
Obviously, I just say this because I've known you for over freaking 20 years and
long time
and whatnot. But I have my own channel too. There's not a lot going on there. I do a little bit of everything. Sometimes I'm doing work to my vehicles and I want people to see. I'll look for a video on something like, man, I bought a Camaro back when I think it was 2011, and there was no information about where to properly jack. I needed to jack the vehicle up like all 4 wheels and take all 4 tires off because I was going to paint my brake calipers and paint them look cool. And there was no information, and this wasn't like your normal car. Back in the day, you got certain jacking points, and there they are. And the manual didn't tell me nothing, so I had looked it up, found like a diagram of the underside of the car, and it said jacking points, with little X's where this is where you're supposed to be jacking the car up. So I put the car up on 4 jack stands. I had to make, wooden blocks for everything so they'd fit right. And I made a video about that because the information, there was a void there. So there's the information. Same thing about how to take I like to debadge my vehicles, take all where it says, Ram 1500, or I don't have that anymore, but I'd take that crap off because to me, I paid for paint. I want to see that beautiful paint, not plastic fake chrome looking crap on it. So I have a video on how to debadge. I almost said devag. How to take the vag out of your vehicle. How to debadge your vehicle. I do those kinds of videos. So I also have some playing guitar, things like that. So I think I have one doing one of your songs. But anyway,
I do guitar too, but I'm mainly a vocalist in this Sentient Shell project.
You do well at both. I mean, you're better at one than you are the other, but that's because you've put your efforts into one. And we need to down the road here do some videos, man, where you give us some tips about where you find it from. They may not work for everybody, but
right.
just hearing where you dig it from, where do you dig and pull it out of to get the sound that you get and the results out of your voice. Maybe it'll help somebody else.
I can definitely tell you some of my rituals. I don't know if I can exactly explain how it is I do what I do when I do it. It's more like I'm on autopilot,
right? So not auto tune.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the producer uses.
Well, you don't need auto tune. You can catch a longer version of the audio at on iTunes. Please go there, hit subscribe, so that way it'll when we load one up, there it is, and it's also easier. I just found out that there was an actual podcast app on my iPhone, and I've been an iPhone user since the iPhone 3 back in 2008. So to give you an idea of how hip I am, so now I go there and I just open it up and I can see the actual podcast that I like right there. I don't have to dig for them or hunt for them. Boom, they are. I got Joe Rogan, The Ordinary Guys. I got a couple other ones, and it's just a really cool app. And if that's not how you're doing it, buddy, you need to do it. And cut. Shine bright like a diamond.
What is that?
In the sky. You haven't heard that? Man. Would you just turn freaking Seven Dust off for like 3 minutes and listen to something else?
I don't listen to them that often. Really?
What do you? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You're listening to the AM radio, like the Billy Goat.
I do. Admittedly, I listen to talk radio. I feel that if I deprive myself of music, and it works for me, if I go a month or two without listening to music, and then I sit down to write music, I mean, I just have a flood of ideas. And so I've been doing this for years, and it just works for me to where I really don't listen to a lot of music. And then when I write, I'm hardly ever in a writing slump, if that makes any sense, because I need the music so bad.
You're not burned out on it.
Yeah.
That's what I get when I listen to local rock radio, and our rock radio is pretty awful. I mean, I've lived near larger markets, like say Orlando or Chicago or whatever, Nashville, and the radio is like just so much more there. I mean, there may really only be one hard rock radio station, but it's really pretty damn good. Like, they play stuff that this station would never play. Like, they might play Shinedown once a day. Right. Not once an hour.
Or Avenged Sevenfold.
No, yeah, I mean, I think he lost his voice, or something like that. Thank God. Sorry. Yeah. Didn't mean to be a dick.
Would be a good thing.
There is a God.